The overhand is usually everybody's favorite punch, but it's a really hard punch to set up if you don't know what you're doing. The first example that I want to use is Khabib Nurmagomedov. And this is, I'm using this example because it's completely out of left field, right? So if I'm using this feint, right, for a takedown, I'm going in for the double leg, I'm dipping down like this. It's also the perfect way to set up the overhand, because watch. For the takedown, I'm feinting for the takedown, I'm feinting for the overhand. It's the same setup here for both. And this is the same feint that Ilia Topuria used to knock out Volkanovski. I made a whole video about that, about how this feint here sets up the right hand. But it just doesn't only use it as a feint, he uses it as a threat for the takedown here, right? I got the double leg, I lift up, I take him down. How Khabib used this against Conor is he'd feint like he was going low, he'd feint like he's going for the takedown, and he'd go high for the overhand. Usually, people have trouble setting up the distance, right? They use the overhand as a, I'm just gonna use it as a, I'm gonna throw it from far away. It's a punch, whoosh, right? It's everybody's like go-to. But the more that you use a punch, the easier it is to see coming. If I throw 1,000 jabs at you, the 1,000th time that you see it, the 1,000th time, the 1,000th, if I throw a jab at you 100 times, the 100th time I throw it at you, you're gonna see it coming easier, right? If I throw this at you 100 times, you're gonna see the way my body moves, the way it aligns. So whenever you, not even with the overhand, if you have a really good shot, the more that you throw it, the easier it is to see coming, right? So a good way to land this overhand right is to set it up with other strikes. Now I talked about this in episode 9 of the Punch podcast. Setting up the overhand by using this hook to the body, right? The body mechanics are perfect. Whenever you're done with this punch, you're in a perfect position to throw this overhand. That's a good way to set up your overhand. And pretty much any shot to the body from your left will set up this overhand. But the problem with this is people can't find their range. I also made a video about finding your range. Whenever you find your range, usually you'll find it with the right hand. If you can hit them with the right hand, you can hit them with the overhand, right? So, feinting with the double leg, right? Setting it up to the body. You have to, basically the common pattern here is to throw the overhand, you have to not throw the overhand. The more that you throw it, the easier it is to see. So another way to set it up is the jab. I left this one for a little bit further on because everybody wants to do this.
Hey, beat him up.
What's up?
Hey, beat him up.
Hell yeah. So everybody wants to set up the overhand right with this double jab. But the problem with that is this is even easier to see coming than just throwing the overhand, right? The more you do this, the easier it is to see. If I'm throwing this double jab, it's so easy. Whenever you see the double jab, now you either know a right hand's coming or an overhand's coming. Another thing about that is the footwork, right? So people try to use this to close distance. That little shuffle right there, right? Move it, boom. It's easy, you're setting up a pattern. So whenever you're closer, you have to find that range like I was talking about in that other video. Whenever you find your range here, the easier it's gonna be to throw that overhand. If I'm here, I can throw body shots, straight, cross, jab. Whenever I'm throwing more strikes, it's easier to throw the ones that I'm good at. Not only is this hook to the body good, the jab to the body good, but also this uppercut, because it's the same motion. Any motion where you're moving with your left and then throwing with your right, you're gonna get more power out of it because you're using one side of your body to throw the other side of your body. So with the jab, with the hook, with the uppercut, all the things that they have in common is you're using the left side of your body. So usually you're not gonna throw a right hand and then into an overhand, right? So if I split up half the body right here, right? It's gonna be easier. The left hand is what you use to set it up. The right hand is what you use to hit them with. So basically whatever strike you use, the jab, overhand, the body shot, overhand, the body shot, overhand, any one of these combinations will work. But the further you are away, the harder it's going to be to set it up. That's why I was talking about with this thread of the double leg earlier. You're able to get off further range for that overhand because you're taking up space that they think you're going to control them. Now you're going to get in a wrestling position. They start to lower their hands. Whenever you lower your hands, I go in with that overhand. So finding ways to disguise your best punches are the ways that you're actually going to land that punch. If I'm all the way back here, I'm going to have to find a way. All right, do I feint to the body low and then go over high? Am I going to go for the takedown a couple times? Am I going to go to the body, go high, overhand? Basically, the common pattern here is to just not throw the overhand. So look how easy it is to see this. Right, I do that shuffle, I get in close. But if I go in down for the takedown, right, I go for the body shot, now I'm actually going to be able to land it, and I'm going to be able to land it easier because I have different ways to set it up. But the most important thing is to set it up with the left side of your body. It makes it easier to break it down. All right, if I throw the jab, if I throw the hook, if I throw jab to the body, jab to the head, hook. Even if I throw this hook, look. Good way to set up the overhand. You see Justin Gaethje. He doesn't throw this overhand from far away. He throws it close up, just like his leg kicks, right? So a good way to set up the overhand is to find your range. The closer you are, the easier it's going to be to throw that overhand. And not only to throw it, but to land the overhand. And one more thing I'll leave you with is the overhand can be used to close distance. Say my opponent wants to move this way. I'm going to use this overhand as a threat, not only to damage them, but also to move them back in a certain direction. So if I don't want him moving this way, I hit him with that overhand, right? If he's moving this way, right, that's going to make him move that way again. Now he moves this way, right? I go with that left to the body, and then that overhand. But there's also different ways to set it up with space and position. But I think I'm going to leave that pretty much. That's the overhand video for now. I'll make a part 2 on this. Thank you all for watching. If you have a suggestion, leave it in the comments. I got a podcast. Check it out, the Punch Podcast, every Monday. And yeah, guys, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.